Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it's 12th of October and I did the service of this bike 2 days ago. You guys have already seen that video. That was the third service video of the RS457 at 12,000 kilometers. So this is the only bike that has covered 12,000 kilometers till date and I have done the third service. If you haven't seen that video, you can watch that video. I'll pin that in the description section down below. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about the total cost of ownership for the first 12,000 kilometers of the RS457. I know many of you have already bought this bike and many of you are also curious to know what is the total cost of ownership looks like. In this, I will include the service cost, I will include a separate cost for the accessories. I will include the total fuel expenses. Each and every details you will find it in this video. And apart from that, I will also give my opinions and my experience for the last 12,000 kilometers because I have got the chance to explore it for 12,000 kilometers and I have taken it in various terrains. Like this is the only bike on which I do my office commute, and I also go for weekend rides. I have done couple of long tours on the RS457 as well as I have done some serious amount of off-roading on this bike. So this video is going to be an overall review of the RS457 including the total cost of ownership. So you should stay tuned on this video. But before proceeding, I really appreciate if you can hit that subscribe button because many of the viewers are watching the videos but they are not subscribing to the channel. It is free for you, but it definitely helps me a lot. Yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button and let's get started with this video. To start with, I will talk about the service costs. So this bike has been done with three services, and first service was at 1000 kilometers, second service was at 6000 kilometers, and the third service was at 12,000 kilometers. So the first service was done in the month of April when I completed 1000 kilometers, and the cost of the first service was 3500 rupees. In that, the air engine oil filter was replaced and air filter was cleaned and chain was lubricated. So the first service cost was 3500 kilometers. Then I went for the second service at 6000 kilometers in the month of July when I came back from my Arku and Vizag trip. That particular time the engine oil, air filter and the oil filter was replaced. So the cost of the air filter is 1500 rupees in the Aprilia showroom and the cost of engine oil is around 1900 rupees and the cost of the oil filter is 1200 rupees. Apart from that, they take additional 500 rupees extra for consumable charges. It includes the top up of the coolant as well as lubricating, cleaning and adjusting the chain. So the second service cost was 5000 rupees and the third service which I did day before yesterday at 12,000 kilometers, it costed me 3500 only. The reason for that was in the third service the air filter was not replaced because the air filter was in a very good condition, so the technician advised me not to replace the air filter this time. But definitely if your air filter is in a bad condition, if you have done a lot of off-roading, that's when it will require a replacement. So that 1500 was saved. In the third service, the brake pads also needed to be replaced, but I didn't go for the stock brake pads this time. I'm going for aftermarket brake pad. You will get to see that in the upcoming videos. But if you just think about the service charges, it costed for the three service, the total was 12,000 rupees that I have spent till date. Mind you, the front brake pads were done at 5,000 kilometers, so I had to change it. I installed the KTM Duke 390 sintered double edge Brembo brake pads in this bike, and that particular brake pad in the KTM showroom it costed me 3,000 bucks. And assuming that at the third service also brake pad needs to be replaced, I'm adding another 3,000 to that. So including 12,000 of service charge with which I have paid to the Aprilia service center, I will include 6,000 rupees extra for the two sets of brake pads. Assuming that you are also going for the same stock brake pads, so Aprilia RS457 comes with the Brembo double H grade brake pads in the front. I'm talking only about the front brake pads. The rear brake pads haven't been changed till date. Front brake pads, you will have to replace it twice in the first 12,000 kilometers. And the double H grade sintered brake pads are the same for the KTM Duke 390s as well as RS457. I have done that comparison earlier when I replaced the brake pads in Vizag. So you can see that video as well. That's a raw uncut video. I'll post that in the description section down below. So yeah, 12,000 to the Aprilia service center and the 6,000 for two sets of brake pads. It comes to around 18,000 rupees is what everyone will have to bear for the first 12,000 kilometers. This does not include any cosmetic upgrades or any accessories that I have installed in this bike. This is the basic charges that you will have to pay in order to ride this bike for the first 12,000 kilometers. That was the complete cost involved in the service and maintenance. Now it's time to talk about the list of accessories that I have installed on this bike. First thing is the quick shifter and the auto blipper. You can see over here, I installed it in the month of May when it was first available in the Hyderabad Premium Automobile dealership. That time it costed around 28,000 rupees. So Aprilia initially launched it at 28,000, but because it did not sell in a big number, so they had to reduce the price, and now it costs around 22,000 rupees. Because I wanted to go for the quick shifter and auto blipper, and hence I installed it and I spent 28,000 on that. Next is the high windscreen, costed me 900 rupees. And apart from that, I have also installed the USB charger. This is an official accessory that Aprilia is providing as part of the accessory list. So I have installed that. That really came in handy when I went for my long tour to Coimbatore. So that particular USB charger costed me 950 rupees. Next is I installed a dual horn on this bike. You can see the different horn over there. That's the primary horn, and the secondary horn is located over here inside. You can see that golden part. That's the secondary horn. So this particular dual horn is from a very reputed company. It's known as Roots. So there was no installation charges involved in it because I did it myself. If you want to see the installation video, I'll pin it in the description section below and you can see that. And it definitely sounds very loud. The stock horns was very dull, so I had to upgrade the horn and I installed the dual horn. It costed me 1000 rupees including the wire kit and the dual horn. Next is the front mudguard extender. So I went for a basic mudguard extender. I have mounted it something like this, and I also have the rear mudguard on this bike. Both of these are not part of the accessory list. I have purchased it from Amazon. It's a OEM accessory. I have installed it myself. So for the front mudguard extender, I spent 350 rupees and 900 for the rear mudguard. Next is the PPF. So this bike has a PPF coating on the tank. So I'm not sure if you are able to see. If you are able to see from here, it will be visible. This particular PPF, it is pasted in 3 layers. Center part is one piece, left part and the right part are 2 different pieces. That's how I got it installed. I didn't go for the entire fairing. I just did the tank because my belt was hitting the tank and I didn't want any scratches on the white tank. Hence I did the PPF coating and it costed me 4,000 rupees for the PPF. Apart from that, I have also installed an adjustable brake lever. So this particular brake lever is from the KTM Duke 390. It costed 2,000 rupees, and these are the same brake levers which you will get as part of accessory list from Aprilia as an official accessory. You will not be able to make out any difference in this particular adjustable lever and the official accessory. So I paid 2,000 rupees for that. Apart from that, I have also done some stickering. That is, you see this particular Aprilia racing logo, this is there in the racing black color, but it is not there in the white color because I like that particular sticker. I got it customized and it is pasted right over here, and the same type of sticker is there on the left side as well. You can see over here, these 2 stickers don't come as stock with the white bike. Apart from that, I also have PPF on my speedometer console screen. So it's the same material which is used on the tank. So this was the entire accessory list that I have installed. Mind you, I did not pay anything for the sticker and the PPF on the screen. The guy who did the tank PPF, he did it for free. So the total cost that I spent on the accessories of this bike is 38,100. In that, 28,000 is for the quick shifter and 10,000 is for rest other accessories that I've installed on this bike. Mind you, there is no particular limit to customize your motorcycle. Hence, this particular cost is optional and it depends on person to person, on every individual, what type of accessories they want. And if you don't require all of these accessories, you need not install any of these. But the starting cost which I spoke about, the 18,000 rupees which is required for maintenance of this bike, that remains the same for everyone for the first 12,000 kilometers. There were a lot of questions why I didn't go for the frame sliders and the radiator guard for this bike. Definitely frame sliders are a must have for a fade motorcycle, but my thinking is a little bit different when it comes to frame sliders. Is first thing is, with the white color motorcycle, the frame slider does not look good. To me personally, I don't like it. And the second reason being, if the motorcycle falls, the impact will directly come onto the fairing. I am okay damaging the fairing rather than damaging the frame. When it is a light fall, definitely only the fairing gets damaged. If the frame slider is installed, it will take the impact. But when it is a hard impact, the frame slider will transfer the impact to the chassis, and chassis might get damaged, it might get bent, and I don't want to damage my chassis. I'm okay if even if the fairing is damaged, I can replace it. Even if it costs 10 to 15,000, I'm okay spending that amount. Anyhow, we will definitely get claims for that because the bike is insured, but I'm not okay damaging the fairing because that's going to be a costly affair, and the entire motorcycle has to be opened in order to replace the chassis of the motorcycle. And the next thing is about the radiator guard. The radiator guard is a very good thing because it protects your radiator from getting damaged from stones which might come and hit the radiator while the bike is on the fly. But I do a lot of office rides. On office rides, because I am dealing with peak traffic, the bike tends to heat a lot, and when there is a radiator guard installed, the fan has to put more effort in order to cool down the radiator. The airflow reduces, and hence the bike tends to get hot even more. That's why I'm not comfortable to install the radiator guard on this bike. If you guys don't do a lot of office commute or city rides, if you do it highway ride or weekend rides, that's good for you, but it does not work for my scenario, and hence I haven't installed it. Even if the radiator gets damaged, I'm okay to getting it replaced rather than going for a radiator guard and suffering every day while traveling to office, because I travel 40 kilometers one side 3 days a week. And now it's time to talk about the mileage and the total fuel expense. So this bike has been constantly giving me a mileage of 22 to 23 kmpl in the city on my office commutes, and it gives me around 24 to 25 kmpl on the highway when I keep it in between 100 to 120 kilometers an hour. And the fuel cost in Hyderabad, it is around 107.6 rupees, and considering 23 kmpl as the baseline, uh, so per kilometer it costs around 4.6 to 4.7 rupees. If you multiply that with 12,000, I spent around 55 to 56,000 just on fuel for the first 12,000 kilometers. This particular cost might vary because of your riding style, and also depends on the fuel cost at your city. So this is not at all fixed for everyone, but I wanted to tell that. And now if I add all these expenses, so it's like 18,000 for the maintenance of the motorcycle, that's basic for everyone, and then 38,000 for the accessories, in which quick shifter was a major cost. Apart from that, 55,000 for the fuel. So total comes to around 1,11,000 rupees that I spent after purchasing this bike for the first 12,000 kilometers. And also, if you have purchased your bike on finance, definitely you will have to pay an extra interest to the financer as well. But my particular bike was purchased all upfront because I made the entire ex-showroom price payment in the month of December when the bookings opened. I wanted to get the priority delivery, and that's how I got the first delivery in the country. It costed me 4,95,000 rupees on road Hyderabad. Now it's time to talk about the ownership review, what I felt about this motorcycle in the last 12,000 kilometers. And this part is going to be really amazing, I'm telling you guys. What an absolute pleasure it has been to own this motorcycle and ride it for the 12,000 kilometers in just 6 months. So my experience has been very nice with this particular motorcycle. To be frank, I did not face any issue with respect to this bike in the last 6 months. I have seen many people facing battery drain issues, the bike pulling towards the left. My bike did not give me all those issues. Apart from that, there was one issue that I faced, that was the coolant pipe which comes from the radiators and then it connects to the engine block. That particular place where it connects to the engine block, there was slight bit of seepage that was happening. I noticed that, and then I immediately went to the service center. They found that the clamp which connects the hose to the engine block was a little loose, so they replaced that clamp and the issue was fixed. The second small issue that I have is this particular uh, high beam and low beam switch, the pass switch, it is not working right now. The switch quality is really bad on this motorcycle. If someone from Aprilia is listening to this video, you guys should definitely work on the switchgear quality of this motorcycle. I come from a KTM Duke 390. I owned it for 6 years, but I never faced such issue on that particular bike. So the switch goes up and down, so it goes to the high beam and the low beam, but I want to use the pass switch. The tactile feel is not there. Even if I try to press it hard, it feels like the switch will break, and it is not working right now. So the dealership has said that they have placed an order for replacing the switch itself, but I haven't got any update on that till now. Let's see when it gets replaced. But there is a definitely room of improvement on the switch of the RS457, and I have also heard this particular complaint from many other users in my comment section as well. So I specifically wanted to cover that. I forgot to cover this in the previous video, but I wanted to let you guys know about the switchgear quality on the RS457. Next, I wanted to talk about the air filter. So as of now, my bike is running with the stock air filter, but I know that there are performance air filters also available, like reusable air filter. It's known as Sprint air filter, which costs around 9,000 rupees. I'll see if I want to install that or not, but as of now, it is running on the stock air filter only. And coming to the fuel that I have used on this bike, I have always went for the regular fuel. I didn't go for any high octane fuel or speed petrol or performance petrol. I always use this normal fuel, and it did not give me any issues. The performance was great. There was no issue with the fuel pump, nothing. The bike did really good with the normal fuel itself. And apart from that, next thing is the chain sprocket. So the chain sprocket has almost done its life. So the chain sprocket will need replacement very soon, probably before the next service, that is the fourth service. It comes at 18,000 kilometers. So the chain will have to be replaced. And also I want to talk about the tire. TVS Pro Torque Extreme has been really good. I really like these tires. Previously I used Michelin Pilot Street on my KTM Duke 390s. I feel these tires are there at the same level when I compare it with the Michelin Pilot Streets. I'm not sure about the cost involved in these tires, but at 12,000 kilometers, it has lost around 70% of its life, 70 to 75% of its life. And I will not be going for any highway rides anytime soon. I'm just doing commuting. I think it can run for another 3 to 4,000 kilometers, and then definitely I will have to change the tire. I'm not talking about the front tire, I'm talking about the rear tire. Front tire is in very good condition. It hasn't lost 50% also till now. But the rear tire, it will definitely need a replacement. So chain sprocket and the tire is something that will have to be replaced. I don't know what is the cost of the chain sprocket, but yes, whenever it happens, I will let you guys know. And whatever tire I'm going next, for that also I'll make a dedicated video. And as I said, my front brake pads are also done. I am upgrading my brake pads very soon. You will get to see that video as well. And next is the paid service. So first three services are free. There is no labor charge involved in the first three service of this bike. But from the fourth service, that is the next service, apart from the charges of the parts that are changed, I will have to pay for the labor charges as well. So I spoke to the dealership. Even they are not aware what is going to be the labor charges for the fully paid service. But whenever the next service happens, you guys will see it on this channel only. Let me talk about the build quality of this bike. So I did some serious off-roads on this motorcycle, but this motorcycle is built at a very high quality. There is no vibration in the bike or any panel or fairing, nowhere. Even after having clocked 12,000 kilometers, the fairing and the tank, all the panels, they are well put together. There is no rattling noise on this bike. I have seen this issue in many other faired motorcycles. I'm talking about other parallel twin motorcycles from Kawasaki's. They have that issue of rattling noise once the fairing is opened. Mind you, my right fairing and the left fairing both have been opened once. I opened the right fairing for installing the dual horn, and the left fairing was opened in order to replace the coolant hose clamp. So even after removing and putting it together, there is no rattling noise on this particular bike. So I really like the build quality of this motorcycle. And when it comes to performance, this bike is killer in the entire parallel twin sub 500cc segment I'm talking about. There is no other bike which can come close to this bike. It handling is excellent, top speed is good, the power is next level. All you need from a sub 500cc motorcycle is there in this bike, and this bike has that sporty character. Definitely the riding stance and the seats, it's a bit hard. Even though suspensions are hard, that is understandable because this motorcycle is built for a purpose. It's made to rule the tracks, and hence if you plan to tour on it, definitely you might face a slight bit of pain on your wrist, and your butt might ache after a couple of 100 kilometers. But I was able to do 950 kilometers in one shot from Hyderabad all the way to Coimbatore. I did it in one day. I started at 5 a.m. I reached Coimbatore at 7:30 p.m. in the evening. I did that on this motorcycle. I think maybe because I am tall, I didn't feel that pain. And but if you plan to do that, definitely you're going to face some amount of pain on your neck, wrist, and your back. If you have the passion to ride a motorcycle, if you are well connected to your motorcycle, I think anyone can do that. All these things are irrelevant. So I am very passionate about motorcycling, and I want to achieve all the milestones on this motorcycle. That's why I think I am able to do that. But even you can do that. It's just that it's there in your head. The bike will always be able to do that. It's not always the machine, it's the man behind the machine. So yeah, with that, I would like to close this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Was this video helpful in making your purchase decision? If you're planning to purchase this bike, definitely this video is going to help you a lot. But always, whenever I see your comments in the comment section, I get to know what you guys feel like. Or else if you don't comment, I don't get to know what is the thought process on your side. You get to see my thought process, but I don't get to see your thought process. So it is very important to put your thoughts in the comment section below, and also hit that subscribe button. It definitely takes a lot of effort to bring some exclusive content on the RS457 for you guys. What a pleasure it has been to own this motorcycle. I am super happy with my purchase, and I think 5 lakhs is well spent on this motorcycle. If you're planning to go this bike, and all the scenarios which I mentioned in this video, it fits your use case, then definitely go for it. Don't think twice. With that, I will sign off from this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye.